Ever feel like you're just wading through mental molasses?
Oh, definitely.
You got something important you need to focus on, but your brain just wants to chase every notification, every little thought that pops up.
It's the modern challenge, isn't it? Staying focused when everything seems designed to distract you.
Exactly. So today on the deep dive, we're tackling that head on. What actually makes it so tough to concentrate? And maybe more importantly, what can we really do about it?
Right. We've looked into some pretty interesting materials, everything from, well, a study on medical error reporting.
Which sounds maybe a bit off topic at first, but stick with us.
Yeah, it's surprisingly relevant, all the way to, really practical exercises you can use to boost your focus.
So our mission today is pretty clear. We want to give you, our listener, some solid knowledge and actionable tools.
Tools to help you understand the roadblocks, yeah, but also real strategies to sharpen that mental edge, maybe learn more effectively.
So we'll explore the kind of hidden factors that scatter our attention.
And then we'll get into those tangible techniques you can actually try out.
Okay, so we all know the struggle. You're trying to read a report or listen in a meeting, learn something new, and then poof, mind gone.
Off chasing squirrels.
Totally.
Yeah.
So to really get why that happens, we're diving into something that, like I said, might seem like it's coming out of left field. Medical error reporting.
It sounds serious, and it is. But the reasons why errors sometimes don't get reported in healthcare, they tell us a lot about the universal barriers to focus.
It's like a high-stakes case study, really, on what derails attention and maybe effective communication, too.
And the stakes are high. Medical errors, well, they're a huge problem. In the U.S., they're actually the third leading cause of death.
Wow, third leading cause.
Yeah, so it really underlines how vital it is to figure out why they happen and, crucially, why they might go unreported. It shows what happens when focus slips in a critical setting.
Absolutely. And the research we dug into, it pinpointed some key obstacles. The biggest one, showing up again and again in studies worldwide, was fear of consequences.
Ah, that makes sense.
Think about that little hesitation you feel before starting something tough. Is it maybe a fear of messing up or wasting time or what others might think?
Yeah, it's that same core feeling, isn't it? Just amplified in that medical context.
Exactly.
And this fear, it shows up in lots of ways. Worrying about blame, obviously, losing your job, negative reactions from patients or families.
Being seen as incompetent by your peers?
That too. And legal issues, punishment, just losing respect. It's a whole bundle of fears.
And this was the top one globally.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Consistently reported as a major barrier. Though interestingly, the research suggested this fear of consequences might be slightly less dominant in the U.S. compared to some other places.
Okay, that is interesting. What was the second barrier then?
The second big one was lack of feedback.
Oh, I think that resonates in, well, almost any job or learning situation.
Definitely. If you put effort into something, flag an issue maybe, and then you hear nothing back. Crickets.
Or worse, you get criticized for bringing it up.
Exactly. Both the total lack of feedback and negative feedback, well, they really discourage people from reporting errors or engaging fully next time.
It just shuts you down.
Right. But on the flip side, the study really highlighted that constructive feedback, open communication, that stuff boosts reporting.
So feeling heard, feeling supported, that makes people more likely to pay attention, spot issues, and actually focus on fixing them.
Precisely. It suggests a link between feeling valued and being engaged and focused.
Makes total sense. Okay, and the third barrier.
This one was work climate or culture. And this one, interestingly, was actually the most reported barrier in the U.S. studies.
So more than fear of consequences in the U.S.
Apparently so, according to the data reviewed. And what seems crucial here is how the administration or management responds when an error does happen.
Right. Are they looking for someone to blame?
Exactly. If the focus is always on the individual rather than, say, the system or the process that might have contributed, well, that creates a blame culture.
And nobody wants to stick their neck out in that kind of environment.
Understandably, it stifles learning, it stifles improvement, but environments that really push teamwork and what researchers call psychological safety.
Psychological safety.
Yeah.
Meaning it feels okay to speak up,
Yeah.
to admit you don't know something or made a mistake.
Yes. Without fear of being punished or humiliated, those kinds of environments, they're strongly linked to better reporting, more open communication.
And probably a more focused, proactive approach overall.
You got it. It shifts the focus from blame to learning.
Okay. Were there other barriers mentioned that tie into focus?
Yeah, a few others popped up, like poor understanding of me, medical errors, and the importance of reporting. Basically, if people aren't even clear on what counts as an error worth mentioning.
They won't be focused on spotting it or reporting it. Clarity matters for attention.
Absolutely. And then there was the practical issue of reporting being time-consuming.
Ah, the too busy factor.
Right. Packed schedules, demanding workloads. If the reporting system itself is clunky and slow, it just feels like another burden, another drain on limited attention. Doctors, especially, mention time constraints.
Okay, and one last one.
Personal factors. The review noted that less experienced people might be less likely to report.
Maybe lack of confidence, or just focusing more narrowly on their own tasks.
Could be either, or both. Maybe less aware of the systemic view. So, stepping back, even though this is all rooted in healthcare,
Yeah.
these barriers, fear, lack of feedback or support, a negative culture, lack of clarity, time pressure, even experience level, they offer really valuable lessons for anyone trying to focus.
They're all things that can seriously chip away at our ability to concentrate and learn effectively, no matter the context.
Exactly. They undermine focus.
Okay, so we've unpacked some of the hurdles, the things that derail us using that medical reporting lens. Now let's pivot. Let's talk solutions.
Right. The practical side. What can we actually do to sharpen our focus?
And for this, we drew on sources about specific focusing exercises and also general study skills advice.
Which brings up a good point. What do we mean by focus? It sounds simple, but...
Yeah, what is it really?
Well, at its core, it's about intentionally directing your attention, your mental energy, towards something specific.
And filtering out the other stuff.
Exactly. Filtering distractions and then sustaining that attention, holding it there. Psychologists sometimes break it down further.
Yeah.
There's selective focus, like zeroing in on reading this report while ignoring the office chatter.
Got it.
Then sustained focus, keeping your attention on something for a longer stretch, like a big project.
Makes sense.
And then there's divided focus, multitasking.
Ah, the holy grail of productivity. Or is it?
Well, often, trying to split your attention like that, it actually decreases your performance on everything you're trying to juggle.
So that feeling of getting more done might just be feeling busier, not better.
Pretty much, yeah. Often an illusion. So one of the first really practical steps recommended is creating a focus-friendly environment.
Right, changing your surroundings seems like a good starting point.
Totally. Just look at your desk, your workspace. Is it cluttered? Simply tidying up can cut down visual distractions surprisingly well.
Okay, declutter. What else?
Noise. Controlling the soundscape. For some people, silence is golden. Absolute quiet.
Others need a bit of sound.
Yeah, some find soft background music helps. Like classical, instrumental, something without lyrics.
Why no lyrics?
Because familiar songs with words, you can accidentally start singing along in your head or even out loud and boom, focus, gone.
Okay, good tip. Noise-canceling headphones too, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. Great for creating your own little bubble of quiet. And then the big one, digital distractions.
Phones, notifications.
Yep. Turning off those non-essential notifications. And maybe scheduling specific times to check email or social media rather than letting them interrupt you whenever they want.
Taking back control, basically.
Exactly. Those environmental tweaks can make a real difference.
Okay, so beyond the environment, the sources also gave us some specific exercises, like mental workouts for focus.
Yeah, almost like mental push-ups. A really effective category is breathing exercises.
Breathing seems so basic.
It is, but that's the beauty. One simple one is breath counting. Just breathe normally, and every time you exhale, silently count from 1 up to 5. Then start over at 1.
Okay.
Do that for just, say, 2 minutes. It anchors your attention. When your mind wanders, which it will, you just gently bring it back to the count. Trains that return to focus muscle.
I see, bringing it back.
Another one is timed breathing. Maybe breathe in through your nose for 5 counts, hold gently for 3, then exhale slowly through your mouth for 7. Repeat that for a couple of minutes.
And that helps focus how?
It demands attention to follow the pattern, plus that longer exhale can actually help calm your nervous system, which often helps concentration.
Okay, that timed one sounds good for feeling scattered. What about cognitive verbal exercises? Sounds fancy.
Not really. It just means using words and language to engage focus. Like the embedded words game.
Embedded words.
Yeah, take a longer word like calendar. Then, for maybe 3 minutes, try to find as many smaller words inside it as you can, like can, lend, car. and.
Oh, okay. But there are rules.
Right, you can only use each letter as many times as it appears in the main word. So calendar has 2 A's, 1 C, 1 L, etc.
So you have to track the letters. Needs focus.
Exactly. Sustained attention, mental juggling, or doing word searches with relevant terms like find words related to problem solving for a few minutes.
Or crosswords.
Crosswords too, especially if they're themed around a topic you're learning. Demands focused recall and problem solving.
I can see how those would make you concentrate. Then there were cognitive visual ones.
Right. Training your eyes and brain to work together. Classic example. Hidden object puzzles.
Like Where's Wally? Or those pictures in magazines with tiny things hidden in a big scene.
Exactly. You get a detailed image, a busy street, an antique shop, and a list of things to find. Doing that for 3 minutes really sharpens selective visual attention scanning and spotting details.
I used to love those. Never thought of it as focus training. What about using other senses, like hearing?
Yep. Auditory exercises too. One is called tuning in. Just consciously focus on the sounds around you for a few minutes.
What kind of sounds?
Could be anything.
Yeah.
Music playing softly, birds outside, the hum of the fridge. Just actively listening instead of tuning it out. Enhances auditory focus, present moment awareness.
Okay, just listening.
Another more active one is matching rhythms. Someone taps out a simple beat.
Like on a table.
Sure, and you try to repeat it exactly.
Huh.
Combines listening focus with physical coordination.
And movement ones, too.
Yeah, cognitive movement. Simple stuff like repeating a sequence of foot taps, tap, pause, tap for a minute or so.
Why does that help?
The challenge is to keep focusing on the physical action, not let your mind drift off while your foot goes on autopilot, maintaining conscious control.
Okay, keeping the mind on the movement. And lastly, imagery. Using imagination.
Right. Using your mind's eye to deepen concentration. Positive place imagery is one.
How does that work?
You spend about 2 minutes vividly imagining a peaceful, positive place. Could be real, could be made up, but you try to engage all your senses. What do you see there? Hear, feel on your skin, any smells, tastes.
Trying to make it really real in your head.
Exactly. Same idea with positive memory imagery, focusing intensely on a happy memory, recalling all the sensory details for a couple of minutes.
Wow, okay, so lots of different kinds of exercises there. It's not just one thing.
Definitely not. And beyond those specific exercises, the sources also really stress some broader strategies, especially for longer work or study sessions.
Like what?
Taking breaks. Seems obvious, maybe counterintuitive when you're busy.
Yeah, you feel like you should just power through.
But stepping away intentionally, go for a short walk, do a few stretches, switch to a totally different, relaxing activity for a bit that actually helps your brain reset. You come back fresher, more focused.
Prevents burnout too, I guess.
Absolutely. And related to that is structuring your work time. Heard of the Pomodoro technique?
Vaguely. Something about tomatoes.
Yeah, Pomodoro is Italian for tomato, named after a tomato-shaped kitchen timer. The technique is simple. Work intensely focused for, say, 25 minutes.
Okay.
Then take a short mandatory break, like 5 minutes. After maybe 4 Pomodoros, take a longer break.
So it builds in those focus periods and the reset breaks.
Exactly. Great for managing time and maintaining concentration over longer periods.
Cool. Any other big strategies?
Well, mindfulness and meditation came up too. Not quick fixes, but regular practice really trains your brain to stay present, to notice when your attention wanders, and to gently bring it back. Less reactivity to distractions.
So that improves concentration over the long haul.
Definitely. Builds foundational focus skills.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. We've seen that the barriers to focus, they're pretty varied, aren't they?
Yeah, everything from fear of messing up to feeling unsupported or working in a blame culture.
To simply not being clear on the goal, or feeling rushed, or even just lacking experience.
Right, but the really encouraging takeaway is that focus isn't just something you either have or you don't. It's a skill.
A skill we can build. We can tweak our environment.
Do these practical exercises, take strategic breaks.
And maybe explore things like mindfulness to train our brain.
Exactly. It's trainable.
Oh.
Which leads us to maybe a final thought for you, the listener.
Yeah.
Think about which of those barriers we discussed really hit home for you. What usually trips up your focus?
And maybe which of these techniques we talked about sounds intriguing. Something you might actually try.
Yeah. How could deliberately working on your focus change things for you? How might it help you learn better, or be more creative, or just engage more fully with whatever you're doing?
Moving beyond just, soaking up information to really understanding it, applying it.
That's the goal, isn't it?
We definitely encourage you to check out the source materials if you want to go deeper. Lots of good stuff there.
Absolutely. thinking about how to apply these ideas in your own life, that's what the real value is.
Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.